If you've glanced at CNN over the last month, you've no doubt seen a lot of former Republican Senator Rick Santorum. He's been a mainstay on their political panels, offering bizarre, contradictory viewpoints in favor of Donald Trump on seemingly every major story. When the New York Times released Trump's tax returns, Santorum was on CNN to cast doubt on the legitimacy of the bombshell, saying, "The New York Times refuses to share the information with Trump. They're refusing to show that they, in fact, have those documents." After the first presidential debate, Santorum was again on CNN to suggest that when Trump refused to denounce white supremacists, it wasn't because he's a bigot, it's because Trump doesn't like to, quote, say something bad about people who support him. And after the vice presidential debate, Santorum had yet another viral moment on CNN when he ironically interrupted Gloria Borger to defend Mike Pence, who himself had spent the entire evening interrupting Kamala Harris. It's been a surprising star turn for Santorum, who has climbed from near irrelevance to become one of the most visible political commentators on all of cable television. In 2006, he lost his senatorial re-election bid by a staggering 17.36%, and he has not held public office since. When he ran for president in 2016, 10 years later, he had to drop out after he finished 11th in the Iowa caucus, having garnered just 1% of the vote. Even in Republican circles, Santorum's voice isn't exactly coveted. And yet, there he is, on television almost every night, yakking it up with Gloria Borger and Anderson Cooper and Van Jones every time CNN feels the need to assemble a panel of commentators. But what's truly surprising about all this is that Santorum isn't some random Republican who's somehow come to prominence in the age of Trump. Rick Santorum happens to be one of the most notorious, noxious, homophobic bigots in modern political history. A man whose views were considered so extreme that Trump himself once said that he was, quote, too conservative and out there. Santorum is on record comparing homosexuality to incest, bigamy, polygamy, adultery, pedophilia, and man-on-dog bestiality. He once likened a basic homosexual relationship to priests having sex with 3-year-olds. In 2004, when George W. Bush announced support for a constitutional ban of gay marriage, Santorum not only supported it, but compared the issue to the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, saying, "This is an issue just like 9/11. In 2012, he said that legalizing gay marriage would, quote, destroy the American family and destroy and undermine the church in America more than any other movement. In 2014, he argued that gay marriage hurts the economy, and when the Supreme Court legalized gay marriage in 2015, he said on CBS that it had the potential to disrupt, quote, the foundation of the world. Later that year, he likened the court's decision to legalize gay marriage to the 1857 Dred Scott versus Sanford case that upheld slavery. He said that being gay is a choice, that gay couples shouldn't be allowed to adopt children, and that he would never attend the wedding of a friend or family member who was gay. He's argued that gay people shouldn't be allowed to serve in the military, that anti-gay Christians in Colorado were being sent to re-education camps in 2014, and that Will and Grace put America on a path towards, quote, the destruction of our republic. Santorum's history of ridiculous homophobic comments was so well documented, even back in 2003, that columnist Dan Savage led a successful campaign to name the leakage that can occur during anal sex Santorum, just to spite the then Pennsylvania senator. And to this day, 17 years later, the very first Google search result for Santorum is a link to spreadingsantorum.com, which exists solely to compare Rick Santorum to fecal matter. That's how infamous a figure Santorum has been in American politics for over 2 decades. Which raises an important question. Why the hell is CNN still putting this dude on TV in 2020? How, In an age where companies in all fields are vowing to be more socially conscious and respectful, can the most trusted name in news tout a man who has compared homosexuality from everything from having sex with dogs to 9/11 to the complete destruction of society? It's a rhetorical question, mostly. CNN has a long, documented history of cramming Republicans onto their panels whose sole qualification is that they'll defend Donald Trump no matter what he says or does. Before Santorum, there was Roger Stone, who CNN happily featured as an analyst until he went on a Twitter tirade against two of his fellow CNN personalities, who he referred to as, quote, a diva bitch and dumber than dog shit. Then there was Corey Lewandowski, Trump's former campaign manager, who CNN put on their election night panel in 2016, despite still being a paid employee of the Trump campaign, and thus as non-objective as humanly possible. There was Jeffrey Lord, who produced a litany of preposterous statements before he was eventually fired for tweeting Zig Heil, and Jason Miller, who now reappears on CNN only as a shameless, unreliable mouthpiece for the administration. CNN even employed Kayleigh McEnany for a few years, who then parlayed her status as CNN's resident Trump defender into becoming his actual press secretary, where her job is pretty much the same. It's remarkable to think about. CNN, for all the bashing it's taken from Trump, has allowed a revolving door of Trump backers to have a permanent place on their panel of experts. And not only were these sycophants not discouraged from being loyal to Trump, doing so was the only reason they were hired in the first place. The same holds true for Rick Santorum. Like the network's previous Trumpian affirmative action hires, Santorum has been elevated on CNN not because his perspective is legitimately worth hearing from all the time, but because he's A, shameless enough to throw his weight behind Trump, and B, TV savvy enough that he's able to give his radical viewpoints while still coming off as pleasant, which no doubt makes him appealing to network executives who have often had to scrape the bottom of the barrel in order to field resident MAGA lovers. Make no mistake though, if Rick Santorum had a come-to-Jesus moment in which he realized that Trump was a disgrace, and if his views on the president suddenly became no more favorable than CNN's other conservative commentators who have been critical of Trump, there's no way in hell he would be this ubiquitous on their channel. Santorum is uniquely incentivized, perhaps more than anyone else in CNN's history, to be a complete partisan hack, which again is an unbelievable distinction for someone to have on a news network that insists that it's trustworthy and factual. It'd be like if the Weather Channel employed a commentator whose sole purpose was to go on the air and question if hurricanes are real. The worst part is that CNN has kept the Trump boosters around for the most cynical reason possible: ratings. CNN President Jeff Zucker, whose name is worth remembering if you're compiling an Arya Stark list of the people most responsible for Trump becoming president, has admitted that he wants as much shouting and arguing on his panels as possible. A 2017 profile by the New York Times noted that Zucker has tried to model his programming, incredibly, after First Take, the ESPN debate show that has the infamous distinction of making Skip Bayless relevant. That profile also featured a paragraph that so nakedly revealed Zucker's willingness to subvert the integrity of his network that it's honestly a miracle that any journalists still work for him. It went like this. As Zucker sees it, his pro-Trump panelists are not just spokespeople for a worldview, they are, quote, characters in a drama, members of CNN's extended ensemble cast. Everybody says, oh, I can't believe you have Jeffrey Lord or Kayleigh McEnany. But you know what? Zucker told me with some satisfaction. They know who Jeffrey Lord and Kayleigh McEnany are. In the very next paragraph, Zucker went on to say of Trump, whose rhetoric would later inspire pipe bomb attacks that were intended to murder some of his CNN employees, I like President Trump. He's affable. He's funny. It's not hard to read between those lines. Jeff Zucker isn't in the cable news business for honorable, respectable reasons. He's in it to produce segments that are so combative and so cringeworthy that viewers will want to tune in just to see the train wreck. And if the most effective way to stoke the fires of debate is to insert a batshit crazy Trump supporter onto a panel, a person who's so extreme that it's only a matter of time before they say something outrageous, Zucker is not only fine with that, he encourages it. Under Zucker, CNN isn't so much a news channel as much as it's an entertainment channel that delivers just enough straight news to have plausible deniability when it features panels with crazy Trump supporters. Panels that the network's executives are hoping either fly off the rails or at least generate some attention on social media. To that end, it makes total sense that CNN would feature someone who looks and sounds like Rick Santorum, so long as they're willing to be a consistent shill for the most powerful man on the planet. That CNN is featuring the actual Rick Santorum in that role, however, is not only brazen, it's indefensible. In 2020, no self-respecting organization should be employing someone, let alone as prominently as CNN is, a person who spent their entire political career bullying, degrading, and dehumanizing gay people. Santorum's conservative bona fides were built on his singular quest to blame every negative aspect of society on homosexuality and to eradicate its acceptability from the culture. A world in which Santorum's agenda would be acted upon is a world that would be even crueler to one of the most historically marginalized communities in America. And yet, by regularly featuring him, CNN is essentially telling its gay viewers both that none of that matters and that they don't matter. You can hold the viewpoint that homosexuality is akin to bestiality, pedophilia, and incest, and CNN not only won't close the door on you, they'll hand you a contract and ask when you can start. Quote, "The beautiful thing about CNN is, no holds barred, I can say whatever I want to say, and however I want to say it," Santorum told The Hollywood Reporter in 2019. "I've never had CNN tell me, we don't want you to say this, or we don't want you to say that." In other words, the system is working as it's intended. Rick Santorum isn't on CNN in spite of being an odious schmuck whose natural inclination is to say the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life every time he opens his mouth. It's why he's there in the first place. He's the conservative equivalent of the obnoxious asshole who gets cast on a reality show just to bother the shit out of viewers. He's not on CNN to make you better informed. He's on CNN to be an irritant. And in that regard, he's overqualified. But that's a position CNN could have handed to lots of people. There is no shortage, even now, of Trump supporters who are willing to debase themselves on live TV just to get a paycheck. No matter how polished Santorum's delivery might be compared to the layman MAGA stooge, there is simply no reason why a person who has an entire separate Wikipedia page specifically dedicated to how much of a homophobic menace they are should be welcomed on a news network that purports to have even a modicum of journalistic integrity. Of course, given that Rick Santorum was acceptable to CNN in the first place, that last line might not apply to them.